sorry, it's been a little while from. I've not done a video for a while, just been too busy. But there was something nagging at me for this one, and I've also got a video that I'm going to do here probably tomorrow night, maybe. And it's going to be I'm going to just go through some of this stuff for a Hoover Dam date, which is actually the 26th of November. And the reason why I'm doing this video now is, well, I kind of explain it because this Hoover Dam date that's coming up, right, the 26th of November, is obviously that's a Sunday. If we take a step back, we've got the Saturday, and then we've got the Friday, which is today, Friday the 24th. And okay, what I'm thinking about is with the Hoover Dam, we're thinking about death and resurrection. In fact, we're thinking about the rebirth of man. When the Hoover Dam collapses, when it collapses, what that ritual is going to represent is man breaking free, Christ being reborn, man breaking free of the matrix. Okay. Now, the death and resurrection ritual, obviously, the big one is Easter. Okay, which is, of course, it starts on a Friday and ends on a Sunday. Okay, so we've got Black Friday coming up, and this year, of all years, we're going to have a brand new football game. A brand new American football game is going to be held on Black Friday, which is today. So, without like doing a ton of further, a ton of further links on this, because I don't want this to be a long video. The thing that triggered me to do the video was a news title. Was this story here? Amazon and the NFL hoping to establish a tradition with the first Black Friday game. Okay, and it says in here, it's not a stretch to say that the Black Friday game between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets is Amazon's Super Bowl. Anyway, when I saw that, I was like, okay, Black Friday, the Black Madonna, the death of Christ here, the death on Good Friday, yeah, the Black Friday. And here is the Super Bowl trophy here. Yeah, here's the football with the whatever that thing sits on with the trophy. And so we have a football reference here. We have an NFL reference here. We have the Black Madonna. Yeah, the death of the Christ is also when Madonna turns to the dark side, is when when Madonna becomes the Matrix. Okay, so that thing is a dead system. Okay, it's a death cult basically, and that's what we're all stuck in. Okay, so this was interesting that this occurs. And also, there's another reference here in Lady Gaga's 911 video. You will have heard me talk about this before, if you follow the channel. Because this scene here, with the Black Madonna and the dead Christ here, again, this occurs right before we have a bunch of actual references to Madonna, okay, the Queen of Pop. So this is pretty interesting because I believe that there's some references to the death of Madonna in here right at this point. Interestingly, around what time are we on this? It's 1:27. It's not actually changing the time on it, but let me back that up just a second and see. It's not giving me a. Anyway, it don't matter. But this is what has sort of triggered this, was that little clip there, and obviously I'm constantly thinking about potential dates for Madonna to croak, but that's really, there was just a couple of good connections here. Okay, now the reason why I was looking at this date as well was because of this 26th coming up. The 26th that is coming up, let me explain something with the 26th. I've got it in the table here. So this is, the table that I usually use with my decodes. If you're new here, just go and check this video out for an explanation of this. But anyway, so what we've got coming up, these two numbers in the middle of the table are the all important numbers. In fact, this point that I'm just drawing in right here now is the all important balance point of the table. I believe anyway. Okay, and that balance point is referenced with this number here, the number 29. And it's also referenced with the numbers 11 and 18. Okay, so all these numbers here are pretty important. Now, this year, I accidentally clicked that, gone. This year to the 26th of November this year, from 9/11/2001 is 8,111 days. Okay, so we have this number that's at the center of the table as a number jump from these two dates, going through to that 9/11/2001 through to here in a couple of days' time, the 26th of November. Okay, 8,111 days. So that's pretty interesting, and that is, if you look at this, this is just a rotated version of this number in the middle of the table here. Okay, this is a rotated version, this 8,000. So what's interesting about this, the fact that it's rotated, is if you go ahead and rotate this 29 now and the number 11, what you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with this number. Okay, and now if you read that number backwards, that is 1126. Okay, so 1126 again is the date coming up. This is the same date coming up, which I just thought was interesting, because this year we also had another queen die, the Queen of Rock and Roll, Tina Turner, and her birthday happens to be the 26th, okay, of November. The reason why that's pretty important to me, now if you go back into my back catalogue, you'll know, or if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know there's a dollar bill fold decode that I've done, and it's the tier fold. Okay, and the tier fold gives us the numbers 2, 9, and 1. Okay, so you can see these same set of numbers here now, or at least the same numbers are showing up back over here as well. Okay, with this tier fold. Now, it's not a stretch. What we're doing with these numbers is we're basically just turning them. Okay, we're either rotating them and then reading them backwards, basically, or just rotating them and reading them. So we are turning these numbers. Okay, and it's not a stretch just to stick an N in here with the tier fold, and we've got Tina Turner. Turn the numbers. Turn the tier numbers. Okay. Now, if this wouldn't be so important to me if Tina Turner hadn't have done the soundtrack for GoldenEye. Well, the soundtrack, the main introduction song, the main Bond song for GoldenEye. Okay, if she hadn't have done that song, if that had been somebody else, I would have said, okay, this is not that important. Maybe this is not as important. But the fact that she does that, obviously, there's other things like the Mad Max connection and I mean, just for instance, um, Ike Turner is a 5th of November birthday. Again, just super important, the 5th of November. So she's got a lot of connections there, but the main one is, and I'm going to do a separate video on this, but I just want to go through some of this stuff now to explain why Black Friday is an interesting day coming up in relationship to all this stuff as well. And obviously, we might be looking at Madonna potentially croaking. She might have already croaked. She might be croaking today, tomorrow night. I don't know. But if things were to play out, that's what we would expect to see. But getting back to Tina Turner, I mean, there's just a ton of little references. The GoldenEye reference is just crazy. In fact, if you go to the music video, What's Love Got to Do with It? That thing starts off with the Twin Towers in the background, and then it moves through to the end, and there's an image on it's on a sidewalk. It's just like a, what would it be? It's like a chalked in image on the sidewalk, right? Was where they finished the video. And that chalked in image on the sidewalk, it's not a stretch to imagine that being water flowing and Tina Turner sat there, okay, with her legs apart, okay. I know I'm going to do a separate video on that, but it is, there's some interesting stuff with this for sure. Was there something else that I wanted to mention with Tina Turner? I feel like that was really it. It was really the fact that the link with GoldenEye, and of course then we have Madonna linking with Die Another Day. Okay, and there's a ton of references in there to the idea of the dam breaking. Okay, and of course the initial first scene in that film, they have to have the hovercraft in that scene, in that first chase scene. Okay, the Hoovercraft, right? I mean, it's just, and then they have the baddie in that start of that scene going over the edge and in plummeting into the waterfall, like going over the top of the dam. One guy being sacrificed and James Bond being saved, So obviously I'm gonna do another video, obviously here probably tomorrow night on all this, but I just wanted to, say this is a very interesting idea with the idea of Black Friday. Okay, the idea of maybe a game, an NFL game, an NFL reference to this day here, and maybe this is the Black Friday right here. Okay, again, GoldenEye is absolutely loaded, and again, I got another video as well to do actually, and it's really interesting. Concerning another fold in the dollar bill, another connection back to GoldenEye, but then again it connects back to maybe the whole of November, which is Pierce Brosnan's character in another film, which is The November Man, and this idea of the November Man. Okay, and I believe that's re-referenced again with Billy Idol. I believe he has a song on the backside of, I can't remember what's on the B-side of, but he has a song. I think it's a 311 Man, maybe actually. But of course, his birthday is the 30th of November. So 311, and the idea of 311 Man, I don't know, and November Man. It's super interesting anyway. I'm going to leave it there because I'm just pretty much whiffly waffling now. But could this potentially be, Black Friday? One interesting thing is right now I think Madonna is in Milan, and what I will say boy, I got personal references to some of this stuff as well that I'm not even going into. But um, again, um, the idea of coming home. Okay, now I know Madonna's from New York, but or actually no, I don't. I don't actually. She might not. I don't know when she was born. Actually, I don't think she was necessarily born in New York. But anyway, she's a New Yorker. Let's see. I might have Madonna up here. Um, oh, I don't see it. But anyway, what was I saying? Her family obviously are from Italy. Okay, and the idea of returning home. Okay, which is the idea of the resurrection of both of these things. I returning home back to the Father, back to God. Okay, so these two things. So the idea of Madonna maybe croaking while in Milan is an interesting idea. It doesn't necessarily have to happen. That could just still be the reference. Even if she doesn't die, the idea of her being in Italy at home. Which countries do you think of? Well, for me, the countries that I think of when I think of like the Virgin Mary Madonna type um, references is I always think of Italy and I always think of Argentina. I don't know why that is, but those are the two countries that spring to mind um, as references for the Virgin Mary for Madonna. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there for this one because I am absolutely, this is why it's so slow, because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. But I'm going to leave it there for this one. I just thought it was interesting connections, so I thought I'd do a video on it. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and I'll try and do another video here tomorrow night and point out some more about this stuff about Tina Turner. But anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.